Hello everyone. I think we are live. Flav here from the Blockchain Game Alliance. Happy to have you today for today's live. Very happy to for this upcoming conversation. Thank you for everyone for joining this live. We were thrilled to announce a few weeks back the launch of this partnership collaboration between BGA and 4Plus Ventures, a leading ventures builder at the intersection of multiple verticals, which is AI, Web3, next generation technology, which kind of will be the topic of today's. For members, that means a lot of things. Game studio and infras can now apply for this exclusive relationship we have with 4Plus Ventures, and I will talk more about this. But it's also an opportunity to talk to the one who actually made that deal possible, who is Zara Zamani, co-founder and CPTO from 4Plus Ventures. So I'm very happy to have you with us, Zara. If you can introduce yourself, obviously give a better definition that I did for 4Plus Ventures, and we will go into the conversation. If you have any questions in the chat, because it's a live chat, please let me know, and I will have a look at it and I will address the question to Zara. But Zara, again, super happy to have you in the live. And how are you? And could you introduce yourself?
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here, and thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm Zara. I'm a co-founder at 4Plus Ventures, and like you mentioned, 4Plus Ventures is a venture builder investment house. In the four comes from Web3, AI, next generation infrastructure technologies, and sustainability tech. And the plus comes from any complementary technology. So that's those are the areas that we are mainly investing in and quite active in those areas. We are Nordic, based in Sweden, and we have a great love for gaming, and we are quite interested in this initiative that we launched with BGA, and looking forward to see great fruits out of it.
Yeah, and as a context as well, I think it's not a new relationship as well. Like we were very fortunate to work together with Zara, but also the team behind Lucky Cat Studio. So it's another separated ventures we're having with them and with the team at Lucky Cat as well. But what we're trying to build through these 4Plus Ventures, BJ, is really something we're proud of, and would love to get into kind of the genesis of the venture that you have. If I can start with maybe the first question, and as I said, if in the audience you have any questions, I know that we have a few members on live. 4Plus Ventures, there, as I said, you invest heavily across the Web3 ecosystem, specific focus on games, creator, network economy. So considering this conviction that you have that the tools we are building are for the next generation, who are already digital native, I think like we are all into this ecosystem because we feel like it's the next step that our children will experience and already experiencing in their day-to-day facing and playing with video games, and they truly understand already digital ownership. Why the question will be, why is the gaming industry specifically the most critical entry point for 4Plus Ventures Web3 investment?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very great point that you touch on, that our children, we see how our children are engaged with gaming. I mean, I'm not that old myself too, but I was a gamer too, and I still am. But for us at 4Plus Ventures, gaming goes far beyond entertainment. It's the infrastructure of digital life. That's how we like to look at gaming. We often say we invest in what in 10 years from now others will wish they would have invested in. So, and gaming fits that very, very perfectly. So as our lives become more and more digital, experiences are naturally becoming more gamified. Look at how you're engaging in education today, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more gamified than 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So because gamification makes digital life more engaging, more rewarding, and more meaningful. So gaming is where digital ownership, community, and creativity, they come and meet each other, right? and gamers, because of that, we see gamers as the most Web3 ready audience, because they understand value, they understand scarcity, they understand ownership in digital form already from years, right? So many of our investments start in gaming. It's really important to know that many of our investments start in gaming, but they don't necessarily stay as the play or purely entertainment gaming applications. They often evolve into DeFi or even real world asset tokenizations or creator driven ecosystems. So gaming makes these products more engaging and sticky, but the underlying infrastructure makes them scalable, right? So for us, gaming isn't just the play, it's the front door to mass adoption of Web3 and the digital economy. And that's why we're really interested in it.
Yeah, you mentioned a few companies you were involved in, and exactly what you said, like you prepared yourself with the next generation of consumer based on their ability to understand digital ownership and everything. And to prepare this, you were involved into infrastructure as well. Like a good example is one of the members we have, PixelPie, as they are making it easier for any kind of entrepreneurs in the gaming sector to innovate in a very, very challenging space. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because there is a strong link with regulation and how they kind of help those games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being involved in Web3 and Web3 gaming specifically for years, we understood that regulation, being compliant is extremely important for the studios, right? And when we're talking about mass adoption and the amount of user acquisition you can have in a Web3 gaming, the level of compliance is different, and also the audience you face with, basically the gamers, are also quite behave differently when it comes to compliance. So it's extremely important to be ready for this new economy system, Web3 based economy system that is coming. And just like you said, the way we invest or strategically is that to make sure that we cover the gameplay, the interface, the application side, the consumer side, but also we cover the infrastructure and we cover the compliance layer. So I would say in the very infra layer, we have another portfolio company, Takibi, that is basically what do we call it? A joint effort between Lucky Cat and some of other portfolio companies of us. But that's like purely preparing the technical infrastructure for the next generation of games. We don't like to call it next generation of Web3 games, no, next generation of games, because what I believe is in a few years, we're not going to call it Web3 gaming anymore. This is just going to be gaming, right? And then, of course, we have PixelPie as a compliance layer, because this is extremely important that we, as when we scale in innovation and we engage with users and citizens, that we can also protect them, that we make sure that every user is protected and every user is aware of their rights. So investing in PixelPie and onboarding PixelPie to our portfolio was a very, very critical move for us. And then, of course, on top of that, we have all of the application layers, the games, the titles. In Lucky Cat alone that you just mentioned, we have 65 game titles, right? And then we have Flagmate, a great, another great studio building strategy games that are evolving to DeFi ecosystems. We have Neokey with digital life services. So there's multiple of them, but the way we strategically invest is that we cover the infra layer, compliance layer, and the application layer all.
Yeah, and so when we decided on the roadmap for the kickstarting this new collaboration, you immediately thought of the idea of giving more context about what is 4Plus Ventures, who is behind, have a clear definition about the ventures, but also what you're looking for as a VC as well. And that's why you suggested very immediately to have this conversation, which should be based on what are you looking for as a VC, which is, in my opinion, very insightful and beneficial for the members who wonder, should I work? Should I apply? And they should, obviously. So based on that, 4 Plus Ventures invest heavily across Web3, AI, sustainability, tech, gaming, as you said, infra. So question will be, when you evaluate a pitch, what specific combination or synergies between two or more of these technologies present the most compelling investment opportunity for 4 Plus Ventures right now, and why?
Yeah. What I would say, what at the moment excites us the most is really intersection of AI and Web3 together, right? And specifically in gaming, of course, we are really, really interested in that. So, and why is that? Is because we think AI accelerates creation. It allows the studios and indie developers to build faster, test faster, and create personalized experiences. Whereas then Web3 gives that creative output structure, value, and ownership, right? So when AI enhances creativity, velocity, and Web3 then locks in the value and ownership, that's where the magic happens. That's what really excites us. And then you get living, evolving games that are both scalable, but also they're community driven. They're scalable because of the power of AI. They're community driven because of the ownership and the value and distribution that the Web3 gives them. And when, of course, that means much more automated production lines and much more efficiency and much more sustainable development, but also in a way it helps us end up with ecosystems that they grow sustainably, not just during the hype cycles. They're not just sexy during the hype cycles. They're growing really in a sustainable fashion, and that's the sweet spot for us. So projects that blend AI for creation and Web3 for ownership and alignment, and then of course sustainability for endurance, that they have sustainable economy systems. I would say because that's what we believe is the formula for the next generation of digital economy.
That's interesting, and that's what we see also in the BGA, like the how Web3 and AI fit within gaming. Obviously, AI and gaming is a long-term relationship we see for the past years as well, and it's more and more present as well. Needs some visibility and transparency, obviously, as blockchain needed these as well. But you said it yourself, like it's kind of AI speed up a little bit the go-to-market time. So what level of active involvement your team, let me rephrase a little bit. What level of active involvement can a portfolio company you expect from your team you could help? How could you help to accelerate these go-to-market time based on your relationship with this portfolio company?
Yeah, of course. We've been in this industry for quite some time. Like yourself mentioned, our relationship or this is not initiative is not just the first or the new initiative that we just came up with. We know each other for a long time. We've worked in many different projects together. So we've been in the industry for some time, and we see our role just as much. The role that we have is way beyond providing just capital, right? We're builders, we're connectors, and our role is to remove friction so the founders can move faster and smarter. Of course, we have the hands-on experience. We are quite hands-on in early phases in our investment. We have a team of more than 70 experts in many different areas, in product development, product design, and game design, and gameplay, economy design, tokenomics, and all of that. Go-to-market strategies, etc. So we are quite hands-on, and as soon as the product finds traction, or the company finds traction, then we step back and let the founders lead. So I would say and then of course we have our network, right? We have a network of publishers, studios, and infrastructure providers, and other funds to help them get traction and the distribution quite early. And I would say, so yes, the AI tools and AI world shortens the build cycle, but what we really add is acceleration through clarity in direction, connections, experience, and we kind of turn that momentum into sustainable growth for the projects we invest in, basically.
Do you think founders, like as you said, you've been in the space for quite some time, as we are in the blockchain space, and including AI as well. But what do you see? What kind of how do you see the space evolving in terms of from the perspective of meeting founders? Do you feel like they are now finally educating enough to understand how to properly um, uh, provide a value proposition based on their use of AI and blockchain technologies, or still like in a very shiny, I would say, industry where if you actually put AI or blockchain in your deck, you're going to be saved and you're going to be listened. Like, how do you see the space evolving?
Yeah, well, thank God it's not like that anymore. Or at least it's getting better, right?
Yeah,
At
it is.
some point in time it was.
I agree.
Yeah. But
So, yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, no, I agree. Like, obviously, that was kind of the thing we've seen. Like, we organize a lot of VC pitch sessions for the past years, and we see a kind of founders be a little bit more educating by the kind of project they want to build, and how to be credible when they're actually facing VCs. Blockchain was a very new technology, still a very new technology. AI as well, 3-4 years ago. But the question was really, do you see some sort of improvement when you're actually facing those companies who try to sell the product, the services, and become your portfolio companies?
Yeah, I absolutely see improvement. I can't complain that this is still the same as it was in the past. Like, and that improvement is not just because founders are now getting smarter or better. It's also because the technology is improving, right? So at some point in time, like if you probably listen to what I used to say 10 years ago, you would say, okay, well, she got a lot smarter now, right? Yeah, because the technology got a lot smarter, right? So I mean, but I still see quite a lot of founders that that just by throwing ChatGPT or Midjourney into their workflow, they call themselves AI powered. It's not a strategy, it's just a decoration. You just decorated your product with AI. It's not AI powered, right? So I see quite a lot of that still. But I would say what I've seen in the industry is definitely a pattern that the founders are more mature. They understand that they have to build a business. It's not about surfing on hype cycles, or making just a 1 month business. No, you have to make a sustainable business. So you need to have a business model, and and if you're using a tool, whether it's AI or blockchain or whatsoever technology, or a tool built on any of these technologies, then you can't just throw it into your product. You really need to use it deeply and intentionally. You need to have a strategy for it. You have to integrate it to truly reduce your production time, your better make your automation better, or make your personalized player experiences. So if I see a project, when we get quite a lot of applications naturally, right? So when I look at the products or what they've built, if I see their AI or blockchain stack if I see it's invisible, that's good for me. I like it to be embedded, not advertised. You know what I mean? Like, I like the tools, the technology, blockchain, AI to be embedded into what they're building, not just advertised as decoration of what they're building. So that's when I know that, okay, this founder knows what they're doing. They're building a business, and of course they're using the right tools here. That's a clear signal for me.
Love it. But based on what you just said, when we launch and we promote our state of the industry report, we release every year, the last one, but same for the other one, and we're going to see for the next one in 1 or 2 months. But the two biggest challenges we see in the industry according to the respondent, are compliance, compliance, and forgot about the onboarding, obviously. So exactly what you said. What do you think about these two challenges? Do you feel like we kind of in a situation where we can overcome them, or it's easier to overcome those challenges, or where are we right now? And maybe that's why you're actually investing into those companies.
Oh, thank you. That's exactly why we're investing in Takibi and PixelPie, right? Because we very much agree with the challenges. But I would say I'm really happy that the industry has matured enough to understand that these are the challenges. Because if you would go back 2 or 3 years ago, people were still talking about different they were still talking about wallets, and now it's a different understanding. They understand that the challenges are basically not talking a language that people don't understand, make onboarding much easier and much smoother, and also make sure that people feel protected. People don't think that they're engaging in something that they don't understand how to treat it legally, and in compliance perspective. So yes, I would say that those are still some of the biggest challenges. But do we have enough tech stack or enough knowledge in the industry today to overcome them? Yes, I absolutely think we do. I think we have a really good conversation now with regulators in terms of compliance. And, alliances like BGA itself is really growing these conversations. We are, for example, in Sweden, quite heavily involved in discussions with regulators, and we are on the board of Blockchain Sweden, who constantly has talks with the government and regulators. And so yes, I would say we have the knowledge and understanding and the tech stack of how to build it, but it's also not something that we can do alone. So when we say, when in 4Plus Ventures, we say that we invested in PixelPie and Takibi is going to solve the problems of onboarding, and PixelPie the problems of compliance. It's impossible for PixelPie alone or Takibi alone to fix this, right? Because this takes a whole ecosystem. And and that's why it's important for us to invest in the right projects, that we together build that ecosystem that can create a synergy to pull up the whole industry. And also, I mean, this needs a collective effort. So it doesn't matter even if you have the best company ever building the best onboarding solution. Web3 is a lot about collaboration and not competition. So we still need other players to hold hands with us and do it together.
I love that, because it helps me to talk about the two relationship we have with PixelPie and Takibi. PixelPie, where we're going to have a workshop no later than tomorrow, actually, with Morten, to talk about that and the kind of value we could bring to the members of the BGA in terms of education, but also with the great product they have to make it easier for every game companies to use it and to experience how helpful it could be. So that's one. And for Takibi, obviously working to supercharge the gaming ecosystem you're building. So very proud of it, and exactly what you said, like community should help and support. So, and based on that too, you said very well involved in Nordic region, not just because of the fact that you're based in Sweden, but also involved with association like Nordic Blockchain Association. Well, what's happening there? Like, if you have to define two questions actually, how could you define the ecosystem there in terms of innovation? Let's not just focus on blockchain, and why this is important for you, 4Plus Ventures, to identify yourself as a first supporter about this region.
Yeah. Of course, as someone who's been building and working in this region, I have had my what do we call it, love-hate relationship with the region. Because you always challenge. Like, are we innovative enough? Are we build? Of course, when we talk about Nordic region, we talk about an extremely digitalized region, right? So it's I would say really ahead of most of the world in terms of digital infrastructure, right? And that probably makes it a little bit more difficult for Web3 to grow, because a lot of what Web3 would provide to less digitalized societies, Web2 has already offered in Nordic region, right? So then, of course, when Web3 wants to penetrate or grow in this region, it has to purely go to the philosophy side of it, which is the democratization, decentralization, transparency side of it, right? Than the technical advantages purely, right? So, and that then makes everything that comes out of Nordic extremely innovative, and that's what I really love about Nordic, right? I always say, like, there is a big difference between the applications we get from Nordic and the rest of the world, right?
Oh, really?
It's like when you talk to Nordic applicants, they are probably a decade ahead. They're solving problems that the rest of the world hasn't faced yet, right? So, and that's probably the beauty of being in Nordic, because then you can really invest in what's coming next, right? And that's really amazing. On the other hand, we have really challenging with a skeptical culture towards a lot of such innovations. But also, I would say, in terms of investment scene, is slower and more skeptical as well, and a little bit more difficult, less risk appetite compared to American market, for example, right? And also regulations is a bit more strict in terms of regulatory relationships, etc. But I'm not saying that because I'm based in Nordic. I mean, and of course, Nordic countries, including Sweden, always comes at the top of the innovation index list. But it's literally like that. We see a whole different perspective, or like different level of innovation when in not all, but in many of the Nordic applications that we get. So that's what we really love about it.
Love it too, because we know that we tried, but we really wanted to be a little bit more involved into what's happening in the Nordic region. So we're very fortunate to be invited. Yasmina, our co-president, was there as well for a blockchain event. So just to see what's happening in terms of regulation, in terms of technology, and through these partnerships, it's also for us, the BGA, to be aware of what's happening and how we could provide value from our ecosystem to this specific region too. So we have a lot to learn about what's happening there, and we really rely on you for that. So as a last question, so again, as I said at the beginning, these collaborations start with the opportunity for members to apply. So we have a very easy pipeline between the 4Plus Ventures team and the BGA team. The application process is open to everyone. Every BGA members should know about it, because we communicated a lot about it. But still, if you are not, you just come to me. What are your expectations from the game studios, game infrastructure will be applying from the BGA? Do you have anything you expect to see?
Yeah. Well, when we look into the teams, of course, or the projects or the companies we invest in, we get a lot of questions. What is your due diligence process? What do you look for when it comes to investment? What kind of companies you're interested in? Of course, I mean, we have a whole assessment team, of course, and we go through all of the things by the book. We look into the product that you're building, the scalability of it, business model of it, the sustainability of the economy of it, your community. But to be honest, I personally am so interested in the founders, right? Do they know what they're doing? Do they have the capacity of taking the risks, and do they have the resilience? Because when you as a founder, and the great thing about 4Plus Ventures is all the three co-founders have been serial entrepreneurs, right? So and we have failed a lot, and we have been very resilient. We have been broke, and then we made money. We had good exits. We had successful exits. So we've done it all, right? We've been in the dirty side of it. We've been on the ugly side of it, on the pretty and beauty of it as well. So it's extremely important to see founders who have a vision, who are focused, and go-getters, and of course that they have a big vision and they're building scalable products. So because what we are building is, I always say, that is the backbone of the future economy. So every investment that we do is quite a strategic. We look at it like, does this component add anything to this backbone of the future economy that we're building, right? Can it provide and it should be scalable beyond gaming, right? Yeah. And that's how we look at it. And also, of course, since we have quite a big portfolio in gaming, I think the great thing about it is that immediate synergy that brings to any other gaming studio, right? And are they collaborative enough? Because it's extremely important for them to be collaborative, to be able to create value, right? To be creative and come up with values out of these synergies. So I think that's really important for us.
Yeah, it sounds like, and I don't want to compare, it's going to be the last thing I want to, but when you talk about this, it sounds a lot that like the ethos of Yatsu when he's talking about the investment he's making through Animoca Brands, talking about the network effect he's trying to build. So not saying there is any comparison between the two, but just...
No, but I mean, I'm humbled to be compared with him. He's one of the people I actually very actively follow in this industry, so I really like what they're doing too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. So I'm pleased you like it. I mean, thanks a lot, Zara, for your time. I really appreciate that. It was the purpose of everything is to kickstart this relationship we already have with the team, but just to make it more official. So the BGA is at ease with the kind of things and activities we're going to do together. Again, it's a long-term relationship we're very happy with, and planning for the future. So thanks for taking the time to respond to the questions, and we'll see you very soon with the team. Sure. Thanks again.
Thank you for having me, and I'm very excited to see BGA members joining us.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah, agree. And again, you have, I think, a window for any BGA members to fill the form. So I think you have a little bit less than 14 days before we close the application. So I'm going to communicate through this live. I'm going to communicate again with the form link, so you can make sure to respect the deadline, guys. That's all. So thanks again, Zara, for your time, and wish you a very good end of the day.
Thank you. Likewise.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.